Alright, y'all. What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Devo back in again with another video. Today we got 10 things you didn't know could kill you. Another talking head video. 10 things that you didn't know can kill you. This is gonna be a very interesting one. You boys live on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch TV/YoIsDevo. Make sure you like, subscribe. Know what I'm saying? Enough of the yap. Let's get right into it.
Air hoses. Contrary to belief, air hoses are extremely dangerous. Although they're often used for filling up car tires, blowing out dust in keyboards, and inflating huge bouncy castles. They also...
I think air hoses. Okay, I think this is gonna be like F3D. I think this is about the dude that fell on the air hose and landed in his butt and inflate him. But I don't think he died from it though.
carry enough pressure to tear through skin, damage internal organs, or even be fatal if mishandled. On a calm morning in May 2011, a truck driver in New Zealand was going about his daily routine.
I
He
think it's
climbed
gonna
onto
be
the
a
rigging
rare.
between his truck's cab and trailer, a place he'd stood countless times before. But in one unlucky moment, his boot slipped, and instead of falling on steady ground, the man fell backwards straight onto his compressed air hose. The brass nozzle punctured him through his left buttock, and in an instant, high pressurized air about 100 pounds per square inch began flooding into his body. As if it were straight out of a cartoon, the man's body began to inflate in size. Air forced its way beneath his muscles and fat, separating his tissue like it were sheets of paper. His chest tightened, his skin stretched, and his face ballooned into a grotesque puff.
I wonder how
Co-workers
that
who
will
happened to
look. I
cross his
know it
path
look
screamed in terror.
crazy.
They quickly rushed to his side, shocked at the mortifying sight. They shut off the air supply and carefully rolled him onto his side, knowing his lungs and heart were under pressure. Ice packs were pressed against his swollen neck and chest to try and ease the suffocating strain. Ambulance crews arrived as fast as they could, but when they found the man, he could barely breathe. His body literally doubled in size. It was full with so much air that every time an EMT tried to put a needle in his body to start an IV, the air would just push it right out.
Jesus.
Doctors later compared his...
What's up? We got this one. Oh, I guess whatever y'all want. It don't matter. Well, they gonna get it? And then, I don't know. What do you got taste for, Mom?
Speed.
Look it up. Fine, I'll look it up.
What's that?
What's up? You sleepy?
Now I'm watching.
Yeah, it's still open. It don't close till like 10:30.
Nate.
It don't close till like 10:30. It don't close till 10:30. Is that what y'all want?
Hello. The meat's good.
You want the win? Alright, I get after this, okay?
I'm going with you.
Alright. Close the door for me. Man, you even close the door all the way. Yeah. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. I'm still gonna upload this raw, so it don't matter, you feel me?
skin to feeling like densely packed bubble wrap just waiting to explode. But luckily for this man, he didn't explode. It took days for the air to escape his tissue, but against all odds, he survived by farting it all out of his body. Others, however, wouldn't be as lucky. Like the time a poultry worker in Mississippi got carried away with his friend while horseplaying, and for some odd reason, he decided to stick an air hose in his, the air...
Why? Why would you do that?
Pressure from the hose was so immense that he blew up from the inside, rupturing most of his organs in the process. Surprisingly, there are a lot of cases like this, so even though they're fun to play with, air hoses are dangerous. Always keep them in safe places and please don't misuse them. A broken heart. It shouldn't be, but true love often feels like one of the rarest things to find in life, and once you find it, you never want it to leave you. Such wasn't the case for a man who was forced to read his wife's eulogy at her funeral after he supported her for a 4-year battle against ovarian cancer. The pair were inseparable. the man became engaged to her when he was just 21 years old, and the two would go on to be married for 30. 4 years. That's nearly
Eh.
twice my age. And now, instead of making more memories with the companion of his life, he was making funeral speeches and writing thank you letters to those who came to the service. The amount of
Damn.
exertion something like this can have on one's heart is no joke. Only mere moments after the eulogy, the man was found slumped over in his house, in the middle of writing thank you letters. He had literally passed away from a broken heart. Doctors said his grief was so profound that it caused him to have a heart attack. And this wasn't just an isolated incident, it's a phenomenon that happens to many others as well. It's called
Dang, that's
broken heart
crazy.
syndrome, or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. It's a temporary heart condition triggered by intense emotional or mental stress that makes the heart's main pumping chamber weaken, causing it to mimic the symptoms of a literal heart attack.
Dang,
Soda
that's
cans.
crazy.
Imagine that it's a hot summer day and you've done nothing but bask in the sun's
Wait, soda
overwhelming
cans
rays
and not
of
just
heat
soda?
all
Soda
morning.
cans?
You're parched, so you go indoors to get yourself a nice cold can of soda.
Man, up
But
the
to your
animation legend on
disappointment,
this one.
none of the drinks were put away in the fridge. They were left out on the table, so now they're just warm and gross. You come up with an idea. You take one of the cans of soda and throw it into the freezer in order to speed up the cooling of the beverage.
Oh,
To
and
wait
it'd
for it
be
to
in
cool
there for
down,
too long.
You go and watch some YouTube and then end up falling asleep. Hours pass, and you forget
Yeah,
that
it's
you
been
left the
there for
soda
too
in there.
long and it just
Eventually,
explode when you
wake
open
up
it, I
and
think.
stumble across your fridge again, you remember that you put a soda in its freezer. Hoping that the drink hasn't frozen solid, you quickly take it out of the freezer, crack it open, and boom. Just like that. The can explodes like a hand grenade right in front of your face. This is a real case that happened to a boy in China on August 25th, 2012.
Dang, 38
Luckily for
stitches?
this boy, however, medical professionals were able to save him and nurse him back to health. Frozen soda cans are extremely dangerous, and in some cases,
Yeah, I seen that before. Well, I didn't see like it exploded, but I didn't see like a soda can combust, and not just soda cans either. Like I remember my dad had like a Red Bull, and he forgot it like in the freezer for a while, but he didn't open it. He just put it in like in the sink and just let it thaw out because he know what will happen. You know, if you try to open it.
they're even lethal. Freezing them forces the carbon dioxide in the soda to create tightly packed reservoirs inside of the can that store high amounts of energy similar to a bomb. So keep your soda in the fridge, and if you do put it
Man, I
in the
just gotta
freezer,
finish
don't
Box
forget
in a
to take
Roach.
it out
Box in
so
a
that
Roach
you
is
don't
crazy.
go
Did you
boom,
win?
boom. Gooning.
Oh boy, doing it. Don't. It wouldn't be a good video without sponsoring the main man of Goon. Jesus Christ, bro. They're not gonna let this man rest. Jesus Christ.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a couple of ways that gooning can take you out. But, so that this video doesn't get demonetized, I'll be swift on the topic. The risk of passing away from this is extremely low, especially if you're a
Man got a mother. I love gooning. Okay. Professional gooner right here.
healthy individual. However, if you're struggling with any underlying cardiovascular diseases, it's possible that excessiveness could trigger a heart attack, arrhythmia, or a stroke. On September 18th, in 2019, a heartbroken teen suffering from depression would find himself unable to ignore how his last Valentine's Day went. I don't really know how, but he
broken
snuck
heart.
past his parents and locked himself away in a room where he then doomed himself to destruction.
No. Man got Diddy in his head, bro. Man got nightmares of Diddy.
He gooned 56 times until
Wait, so did he goon 56 times like in one day? Like nonstop?
he had a heart attack. However, I'd take this case with a huge gulp of salt.
top 5 artists of today, by the way. Is that Don Toliver?
Because due to the bizarreness of his passing, tons of media outlets have
Oh, snap. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't want it. And it was a teenager too. Wait. Wait. Gang. Not only he died from a heart attack. You telling me I don't think y'all see what I'm seeing. I don't think y'all see what I'm seeing right here. But saying he beat his swing 56 times nonstop before going off on a heart attack. And then probably even breaking the world record of, and was awarded a world record certificate by Guinness representative who later arrived at the home. Don't pull up to my house to give me a reward for beating my Schmeat 56 times and I'm dead. Like, my parents don't want to see that, bro. Hey, your son, I know your son passed away, but he got this reward. What he had a reward for in school? No. He been beating his Schmeat 56 times. That's a world record right there in a day. That's it. Don't do that. Come on now. Don't put that in my house, bro.
exaggerated how he went out, often claiming that he did it 100 times and ripped his thing off his body.
100 times, boy. God, bro. What happened to your Valentine's Day thing that got you beating your Schmeat that much, bro? What the heck, yo? Someone need to find him a girl,
Which
bro.
is obviously
So
just not true.
his friend didn't find him a girl.
Vending machines. He was infuriated. A man had just put the
Vending
only
machine.
dollar he had on him into the vending machine, and his snack was stuck inside of the machine, floating in limbo. The problem had a simple solution.
Did it
Just
fall
shake
on
the
top of
stupid
him?
clanker. The man began rocking
Not you two are talking head. The clanker memes, bro, got to him.
the vending machine back and forth over and over again until his snack finally fell and was free for him to take. Unfortunately, however, it wouldn't be the only thing to fall. The 1,200-pound vending machine would also tip over on him and crush his neck against a wall.
On his neck. It didn't fall. It didn't fall on top of him. It fell. He hit against the wall. On his neck. God.
The man would be
dang.
pinned against the wall, struggling to keep the machine from fully flattening his neck, but sadly, his efforts would prove to be fruitless. He wouldn't survive to see the next day. More people pass away from vending machines than they do shark attacks.
Wow. More people die from venom machines than shark attacks. This is an interesting world we live in, man. That's crazy.
There's about 2 to 4 casualties from vending machines each year in the US.
Wow.
So, if the machine isn't giving up your snack, you can get angry at it, you can swear at it, but don't get into a fight with it. 10 out of 10 times, you will lose. Sudden choking. Imagine this.
I mean, yeah,
You're
of course
hanging
you
out
can
with
kill
your
your son
friends,
or choking.
chilling at a party, and conversing with other people while losing track of time.
Has that ever happened to y'all? Like, when you're just eating something, you just suddenly choke? That happened to me sometimes when I be eating Skittles. It's just, I don't know, I'm just like, it's on like, you know? I think it probably happened with other snacks, but when I sometimes eat Skittles, that happened plenty of times.
And then that's when it hits you. You start choking on literally nothing. It's called a laryngospasm. It's a sudden, violent, and involuntary spasm of your vocal cords that is so forceful that it entirely blocks your body's airways.
Okay, that right there, that I don't think that ever happened to me before. Just like choking on nothing. I don't think that happened to me before. I was fine for my life in the bathroom.
Mild
Man trying to
cases
save
of
his own life.
laryngospasms last just a few seconds, while more intense cases can last up to a few minutes, which is pretty horrifying when you think about it. One
That
second,
is horrifying,
you're chilling on
yes.
some mobile games. The next second, you're literally fighting for your life and suffocating on nothing. If this ever happens to you, don't panic or try to gasp for extra air. Remaining calm helps your muscles relax. Take small sips of water to clear any possible irritants causing the spasm and apply pressure on the soft spots behind your earlobes. It'll help your vocal cords ease up. And most importantly, seek professional help.
I hope that never happens to me.
Restaurant signs. In January 2020,
Got restaurant signs. 2023. God dang, some people just dying off of it. Find a destination type beats.
23, a swarm of fierce winds ripped through Elizabethtown, Kentucky. A family arrived at their favorite local Denny's to start their morning off with some warm pancakes and coffee, an entirely questionable option for breakfast. No offense. However, towering above
Hey, people that eat at Denny's, he's calling you out, bro. I don't eat at Denny's. Waffle House is my main breakfast spot. Breakfast spots. Waffle House. Chick-fil-A. I don't know what y'all got, but in my place I got Martin's. Bojangles. Yeah,
the Denny's parking
casual
lot was
spot.
an 80-foot sign weighing more than a ton. To most, the sign was a glowing beacon for bacon, eggs, and pancakes. But for this family, it became the last thing they'd ever see.
A whole family? Oh my god.
A 72-year-old woman sat in the car with her husband and daughter.
You never
when a
had
storm
Waffle
outside
House
struck.
or Denny's? Well, I never had
Paul
Denny's, but you
groaned
never had
under the
Waffle
wind's
House? You're
pressure.
missing out.
Then, without warning, it suddenly snapped. The massive sign came crashing down on the car, crushing the roof and trapping the family inside. Unfortunately, the 72-year-old lady didn't survive its impact, and her husband would also go on to pass away from the injuries the accident gave him. There are multiple cases where restaurant signs, gas station signs, and storefronts fall on people. So, never be discouraged to keep your distance from an unstable
Yeah, that was a final destination type of death right there. Like, God, and they were sitting in a parking
looking
lot
board
too.
that's giving you an off feeling
Rest in
when
peace.
you're entering a business. It might just save your life. Sneezing. We all do it. You're sitting in a job interview or in a library or in front of your date, and then you feel it coming. The tingling sensation that tickles
Sneezing,
the small
let's see
hairs
it.
inside of your nose, letting you know that
Let's
you're
see how
about to
this
sneeze.
could-
The natural
let's
thing
see
to
how
do
this
is
could
to
kill
let
you.
that sneeze fly. Well, while trying to not make a mess. But oftentimes instead, we just find ourselves stifling the sneeze. Don't. My anatomy teacher in high school always told us to break the habit, and honestly, it makes sense as to why. During a sneeze,
Ain't gonna lie, I kind of do that. I kind of do that, like holding the sneeze, because like, I feel a sneeze coming in. I don't want to like make a loud noise around other people, so I'm like hold my nose and just like sneeze. I can hear like feel my eardrums like like that. Not to the point like I damage it, but like you know what I mean. But I can see why I can do damage your eardrums and rupture blood vessels. I can see that.
if your mouth
I
and
need to
nose are
stop
both
doing that
closed,
too.
the pressure generated in the airways can surpass more than 20 times its normal amount. And in a recent case
Okay.
during 2023, a man sick with hay fever held in his sneeze by instinctively pinching his nose and closing his mouth.
See, I did that before. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a victim to this.
The force that built up in his airways was so immense that it literally tore open his windpipe. It's
Dang.
extremely rare to pass away from this, but nonetheless, holding in a sneeze just isn't worth gambling your life. Christmas trees. There's no better feeling in the world than to finish setting up your Christmas tree just in time for the holidays. Nothing beats a Christmas with fruitcake, eggnog, and a house fire.
I couldn't care less when
West
I
fire
was
departments
out.
respond to an average of
I need to
200
start doing
home
that. I'll
fires
be
caused by
doing that
Christmas
sometime.
trees
I'll be
each
holding
year.
it in.
And as you would presume, these fires lead to casualties. Christmas tree house fires are significantly more dangerous than normal fires in your home. This is
Really?
because these fires usually occur at night or early morning when people have gone to sleep but
True. That is true. That is true.
left all of their decorations plugged in and lit up. They're usually caused by candles that were placed too close to the tree, faulty wires.
Okay, now, who? I never heard of this. Who the heck is putting candles right next to the trees? Faulty wiring, I can see that. But who's putting candles on right in the
or
trees
heat
though?
caused by all of the decorative electrical elements. And as opposed to normal house fires that are slow and steady in their startup, Christmas fires with a dry tree can ignite and spread across a room in less than just 30 seconds. So, with that being said, try not to get too carried away with your holiday spirit this year.
No worry.
Doing nothing. You see that
Doing
signs can
nothing.
fall on you, beverages can explode in your face, and that Christmas trees can set you ablaze in your sleep. So you decide that the best course of action for you to avoid all danger is doing absolutely nothing. And then you explode into a ferocious blaze, so powerful that it leaves
Doing nothing, I explode. What am I, a Fire Force character? I just combust? What? I just combust like a Fire Force character?
nothing but your
That's what
feet
you're saying?
behind. Weirdly enough, nothing else around you is affected. Not the couch you were sitting on, not the table in front of you, not the rug on the floor. Nothing. Just only specifically you. This is known as spontaneous human combustion.
What I said. I'm a Fire Force character. I'm not just a Fire Force character. I'm a Fire Force character NPC. If that's the case, half of the population will be wiped out fast.
And there are many cases
Shoot, when I be done with a hard days of work, bro, I'll be trying to do 9 to 2. So I'm just sure like I'm just dead.
from the US about it. However, scientists nowadays discredit it fully and dub it as nothing more than a myth. They rather believe it to be the wick effect, which is when a person's clothing absorbs melted body fat during a fire and causes them to burn up but leaves their surroundings relatively unharmed. Others feel like this isn't a sufficient enough explanation to the phenomenon though. They argue that if the fire's hot enough to consume you entirely and leave nothing but ashes behind, then it should also scorch nearby walls, furniture, and flooring.
Facts.
They also say for the wick effect to be true, it needs a clear spark, like a lighter or a candle. But in many of the cases, the victims aren't found with anything heat related. Toilet time. In Chicago in 1987,
Toilet.
a 70-year-old woman would board a cruise ship with her family. As they explored the wonders on board and enjoyed the pleasant feeling of being on the ocean, the old lady would be greeted with another, less than pleasant feeling. So she excused herself from her
No,
family
I'm
and
almost
made her
done.
way to the ship's
We didn't get
bathroom.
the food, I'm
And there
almost
she was
done.
greeted with the solution to her bowel troubles: the
Almost
toilet.
done.
She closed the door behind her, sat on the seat, and did her business in peace. Minutes later, the ship's medical personnel would rush past the family to the bathroom where their grandma was last seen. Out of concern, the family would follow. And as if it were a scene straight out of a horror movie, they would be met with the sight of their grandma. Her insides were literally sucked out of her body by the
I need an explanation.
ship's vacuum toilet. She was rushed to the emergency room once the cruise docked at a port. And even though cases like these are extraordinarily rare,
70-year-old woman intestines sucked out by vacuum toilet. This was in Chicago. She survived. Her intestines sucked out by a vacuum toilet in a bizarre accident. Board of the that report in the letter Megatron. How though?
toilets have been shown to cause lethal harm to civilians in other ways. Take, for instance, exploding. In 2017, a federal class action lawsuit was filed against a toilet company called American Standard after it received 300 reports of its toilets literally blowing up. And even this year, in
Houseway.
2025, A 20-year-old man suffered serious burn injuries after he pressed the flush button on his toilet and it responded with a loud explosive bang. He was rushed to a hospital.
Bro, what's up with these Final Destination deaths? What is going on? Man, just press the flush button. I got poop all over me. I got burns, poop, piss, toilet water. Come on, gang. Like, how?
Where doctors revealed that 35% of his body was burned horribly by the explosion.
God dang. What they got in them toilets?
But luckily, he survived. If you couldn't tell, this was a birthday special for the channel. It's my way of thanking you guys for all the support you've given me this year.
That
In
was
just
a
2
birthday
months,
video.
we grew from 10,000 subscribers to over 250,000.
Dang, that's crazy. Hey, because you made some great videos, gang.
I'm extremely grateful. But anyways, love your neighbor, be safe, and have a happy day.
Alright, yo, that's a W video right there from my talking hat. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. I'm out of here, man. Oh, make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. It's gonna be in the description down below. Till then, I'm out of here, yo.